So we have the Detox hair and scalp mask, which is all volcanic clays from the Mediterranean. These are like all these different clays really penetrate into the different sections of our bodies and starts pulling out toxins. So this is designed for hair and scalp, but I use it on my whole body. So in the summer, when it's warm out, mix it up, watch our videos. It's no brainer, but you use really good water. So never use tap water, use really good natural water and mix it up and let it sit for at least 24 hours. And it can sit longer. Like I'll make a batch up in a glass bowl, never plastic, glass. Then I use it, and then whatever's left over just gets hard like a rock. And then when I'm ready to use it, I'll just take some more water, pour it on, and within hours it turns into cream. And just massage it into the scalp and all the hair. Then I do my face, I do my neck, I do my chest. And then when it's really warm, I can do my whole body. Then I go sit in the sun for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. And then it starts drying and you'll feel it start pulling. And the face will get pulling tighter and tighter. It's like, oh my God, this is really very, very stressing, pulling the face. And then you'll feel it on your scalp, but it's very, very healthy to get the toxins pulled out of the bodies. And especially cleaning off the hair follicles. It goes right down into the sebaceous glands, into the roots, into the scalp and skin. And then when you've had enough, like that's enough, it's like really drying and pulling, then you just go in the shower. You don't shampoo it. You just go in the shower and rinse it off, and your hair will be so clean. It'll be amazing. Really, really, really conditioning, clean. But most of all, it's pulled a lot of toxins out of our scalp. So if you ladies or guys are using chemicals, I suggest Zen Detox to the rescue. You can do this once a week for 3 weeks. Then you can do it once a month. Highly, highly recommend using it. And you'll see an enormous difference. And the hair will be so clean. So you don't shampoo it out. You just rinse it out with warm water, cool water, finish off with a cold shower. And this is like going to Europe. The whole of the Mediterranean has clay detox spas everywhere. They're really fabulous. You go right into these clay ponds. There's these big, big ponds of clay with water. And you get the clay and you just splash it all over your whole body. Just massage it into the whole body, hair, scalp. Then you lay someplace in the sun. And then after it'll pull. That's the clay, so healing, so very penetrating, pulling out the toxins. And then when it's enough, like you can't stand it any longer, it's like, oh, that's pulling a lot. Then we go into ponds. There'll be warm ponds. And then you rinse it off in the ponds to get all the clay off. Then you go sunbathe or lay down and take a nap. Because it's very, very powerful. It takes a lot of energy. So the body's detoxing. So I don't know if you guys have ever tried this, but I highly recommend Zen Detox with all these Mediterranean clays. They have incredible trace minerals, nutrients that nothing else contains. And the clays are actually alive. They have organisms that live in the clay. They're very, very alive, even though they're clay. And once you add water to it, it hydrates it, because right now it's a powder, very dry powder. You put it in a glass bowl, add some good water, leave it for 24 hours. You can mix it up, and then the next day it'll turn into like a cream, very thick, not watery, cream. then you use it. And then you can just leave it in whatever's left over. It'll harden, but all you have to do is just keep adding water to it whenever you want. And within hours, it'll turn back into this very rich cream. And I do my face with it. Sometimes I'll just do it under my eyes. I'll do my face with it, my neck. If there's anything, any kind of skin conditions, you can just put it on any part of the body. Just leave it there, let it dry. So in the summer, it's wonderful because you can go sit in the sun, even if it's 1, 3, 5 minutes. But I'll sit in the sun for 5, 10 minutes because I'm used to doing that in Europe. Then I briefly want to go back to our Elixir series. So starting off with the Elixir series, gold and silver. So we just had a couple of sales. I hope you guys took advantage of it. The whole store was like 35% off. So if you guys are interested in getting the elixirs, we have some great sales coming up. I don't pay attention, but it's all Black Friday and all that stuff is coming up, and there'll be some big sales. So it's a good time to stock up on the elixirs. So gold is for dry and silver is for oily. And you can mix and match. So I recommend you use one of them for a week. So this is the starter. So when you want to use the elixirs, you start with the gold and silver. But if you can just want to do one, like if you really have oily, you'll use the silver, oily to normal, massage it into the hairline at night, and then into the whole top or wherever your hair is thinning. You know, not a lot, just a couple of drops, massage it in, massage the forehead right into the hairline. Then you brush it in with a brush and you leave it in all night. And that actually feeds not only the follicle, the hair follicle, it also feeds the roots and the sebaceous glands, our oil glands. Or you can do the gold, but for 1 week, or you can alternate. So do 1 week gold, 1 week silver, and then you do that for a month, and then you just take a week off. Same thing with fire, air, earth, water, the goddess series, Apollo, Pele, Poseidon. So you can start off with your sun sign. So are you fire? Are you water? Are you earth? Right? So if you want to get one, you get your sun sign, but we always recommend alternating all of them. So if you can, you get all 4, then do it for 1 week. Same way, they're all the same. Massage them in, leave them in overnight. Then if you're going to be home for a day or 2, it's even better. So I'm not going to be going out and I don't really care my hair looks oily. I'll just massage it into the whole head and then leave it in for 1, 2 days. And I brush it in throughout. So with long hair, it's really important to like put it into your hair, but then bend over and brush, stand up and brush to get all that elixir oils out to the ends of your hair. And then leave it in for 1, 2 days is very good. And you do each one for a week. And then after you've done each one for a week, stop, take a week off. And the same thing with the Tri series, that's our most advanced. That's the ruby, the amber, and the emerald. All right, so I just wanted to cover that very briefly. And I want to mention, subscribe to the channel, help us grow, share it with family and friends, give a like, and then use our coupon code. So our coupon code is what? 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, so our coupon code is Lunar25, and that gives you a 25% discount. And we're going to have the whole store sales coming up very soon with 35% off. And then we're going into Black Friday and all that stuff, which I don't really understand, but that's what everybody does when you're waiting to buy stuff. And then we'll be doing 50% off on some of the products. And the elixirs, from now until the end of the year, we'll have 50% off sales. So if you want to put that on your calendar, if you want to get more elixirs into your collection, you can get 50% off on them. So that's really a good savings. Okay, is the soaking of the clay for 24 hours really important instead of only for an hour or so? You won't be able to leave the clay on for more than 20, 30 minutes the most, because the clay is going to be pulling. So when I say soaking pools in Europe, like they have natural clay beds that grow. These are like living organisms in the clay, and there's beds of them all throughout mostly the Mediterranean. And there's different, like there's pink clay, there's green clay, there's white clay, there's red clay, and they have different properties, but they're all detoxing. So once you go, so of course you don't have a clay pool where you live. I wish we did, but you just mix the clay up and you put it on, like it's like a cream, but leave it for at least 24, even 72 hours would be better. And then it's very hydrated because it's millions of years old and it's powder. And then you just massage it in your hair, put it all over your scalp, your face if you want, your neck, your shoulders if you want, any part of the body. But then you just leave it on for about 10, 15 minutes and you'll start feeling it pull. I mean, it's really going to like, because it's drawing out the toxins physically, literally from the body. So you won't be able to leave it on, I would say 30 minutes. You will definitely not be able to take it more than 30, 40 minutes the most. Then when it's really, really pulling, and then it'll come to a point where it's extremely uncomfortable, it won't do any damage. It's just that you'll feel like, whoa, this is really stretching my skin. And it will be uncomfortable, but it won't do any damage. Then you go into the shower or any place that's water and just rinse it off. So no, you won't be able to leave it on that long. But in Europe, we basically go into, like, there's little ponds that people just go in, and there's big mountains of clay in the middle of the pond. So the water is very murky with the clay, and it's warm. But in the middle of this pond, it's not that big. Maybe it's 20 to 60 feet in circumference. And you go into, and it's not that deep. You're probably up to a little over your waist. You walk in because the water is very, very comforting. Then you just pick up handfuls of this beautiful clay and just smear it on. You do it, I'll do it half my body because then the rest of it's in the water. Then I'll get a handful of it and I'll come out of the pond. I'll go sit on a bench and then I'll do my torso and my legs. So my whole body's covered in clay. Then there's these beds. What do you call them? Where you lay down. You lay down and then it's usually always in the sun. And then the sun starts drying, and then it starts pulling. And when you're done, you'll know it because it'll be like very uncomfortable. Then you go back into the different pond of just water. And then you just submerge yourself, rinse it all off. But here, we don't have that. These are thousands and thousands of years old of clay ponds. But here we just have the detox. And you mix that with a good water, not tap water, and leave it for 24, 72 hours. It'll turn into a cream. And you use it and then go in the shower, rinse it off. So the question in regards to preparing the clay. So yeah, we have videos. So every product has a video, very educational. I suggest just go to MoroccoMethod.com and just put in Zen Detox Clay. The video will come up. But simply, this is dehydrated to powder. It's all natural clay. Then you put it in a glass bowl, never plastic. You never mix it with anything plastic. You can mix it with wood, wooden spoons. You just put in some nice water, put in the powder, mix it up, let it sit for a day. Then the next day, if it's too watery, you just can add some more in. Or if it's too, you can add more powder. If it's too watery to make it, it should be like a heavy cream. It's like a nice skin cream. Then if it's too hard, you just add more water in. That's why I suggest doing it the day before. Give it 1, 2, 3 days. And then it'll sit there for, I mean, I've had my clay in a bowl for a year. So I make a big bowl of it. I leave it in a glass bowl. I use it. Whatever's left, I put it in a cabinet. And then when I want it, I just pull it out. I add some more water to it. But within hours, it's creamy and I use it again. But it'll last forever. So it's never going to like not be usable because this is extraordinary. Okay, so this is like last week you spoke about impressions, about food, forms of food, impressions, air, water, actual food. When it comes to water, is there a type of water, mineral, spring, filtered, that's most beneficial? Of course. So I get the Italian water. You can get it in still water. It's always in glass, never plastic. So number one, water needs to, when you buy water, it needs to be in glass bottles. If it's in plastic, it's toxic. I don't care who it's from, what it's from, forget it. But you can get mineral water, which is gas, sparkling, or you can get still water. So I prefer gas because I'm very Italian. So when I'm in Italy, I always drink lots of mineral water. That's un gas, acqua minerale un gas. So it has all these natural minerals in the water. So yes, you always, I have a filter. I have filters in my whole house, but I also have another filter in my kitchen. So I cook with only filtered water and I only heat up filtered water, but I drink mineral water in glass. You go to Trader Joe's or health food stores, Bevmo, maybe, but I'm just emphasizing that the water must be in glass bottles. And I don't have no, you can get them from Hawaii, you can get them from the islands, you can get them from Europe. I'm used to drinking Italian mineral water. And then there's a really nice brand of German water that Trader Joe's carries, very reasonable. And the body loves it. So there's 5 types of food. 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 elements, 5 senses, fire, air, earth, water, ether. So I teach medical, ethereal Qigong. So I teach a very, very high level of Qigong, which is using the highest level of energy called ether. So the energy is fire or air or water or earth. But then the 5th is always the thumb, because that's the mystery, and that's ethereal. So food, the first food, if you just look at it, it's what we're doing right now, impressions. It's what you're listening to, what you're watching, what's outside your impressions, who you hang around with, what your interests are. That's food. That's the highest form of food. And you can get very poisoned by people who are not good around you, very poisoned. And then very poisoned by impressions, especially today, lately with the news. So I don't have a TV, never did, never will. I don't watch any of that stuff. But I basically YouTube and I just look at the titles. I don't really watch the videos. I just look at the titles and that's enough. I get the message, like what's happening today. Boom, here, 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 here. but I don't dwell on it. I don't really, that's my preference. I'm not saying anybody should do that, but I'm saying I don't want that to come into me because there's nothing I can do about it. And it's very stressful today more than ever. So stress is a killer, and major hair loss from stress, major hair loss from stress, major hair loss from stress, and also not breathing properly. Because the brain uses up about 25% of our oxygen. Just the brain alone needs 25% of oxygen. So we need to get that oxygen down into below our belly button. So the first food is who you hang around with, what your interests are, what you talk about, and what you watch and listen to, and where you go, obviously. So if there's anybody around me who's toxic, I just get rid of them. Nicely, if they don't go, I will become very severe. You're out of here. Because I don't want that energy coming into me. And it's not my problem, it's their problem. And there's nothing I can do about it because we're here to change ourselves. We are here, all of us on planet Earth. There's a purpose, a very, very high purpose, which I'm not going to get into because it's very spiritually related. But we're here to change ourselves. I'm not here to change you. I'm here to educate you, but I'm not here to change you. I'm here to change myself. And you're not here to change me. You're here to get educated. And you're here to change yourself. It's very simple. It's very common sense. And the second food is oxygen, air. So we don't want to be in polluted air. You know, when there's fires, it's very toxic. So I've always lived, like right now I'm living in an enormous forest in Walnut Creek, Northern California, with all redwoods and sequoias. And I just came back from Carmel. I don't know if any of you know Carmel, California. It's my favorite place. It's like living in Europe. And I just bought a townhouse. So I'm very excited. So I just bought a townhouse and I'll be moving there the end of this month. So by the end of September, this month, I'll be moving out of Northern California on back to the ocean to Carmel, California. And I have a lot of students there. I've lived there for 2.5 years. I have a lot of friends. So the best, highest forms of energy, the highest forms of energy on planet Earth are large bodies of water and large forests. They contain the highest chi on the planet. So if you're around a lake or a pond or a river, the oceans are obviously the largest bodies of water. So I've always been living in Laguna Beach for 23 years, right on the ocean. Then I was in Morro Bay for 22 years on the ocean, in Pebble Beach. And now I'm inland. It's like, nah, I'm going back to the ocean. So I just bought a townhouse. I really like it. I was very, very impressed. I just came back. I was in Carmel for a week. So it's done. It's in escrow. It'll end the end of September, and I'll be moving back to the ocean. So the second form of food is oxygen. So air is very, very important. So being on the ocean, of course, you have very high quality air, oxygen, and especially in forests, because the trees are, right? We're breathing in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide. The trees are taking in carbon dioxide and putting out oxygen. So it's reciprocal maintenance. So when you really see nature in a complete harmony with us, everything nature does, it does is 100% symbiotic. It's very, very, very healing. We're the ones who mess it up, humans, obviously. And then the third form of food is water. So that was the question, what type of water? So I'm suggesting, get filters. I have filters in my shower. So when I take showers, it's taking out as much junk as it possibly can. The whole house is filtered. And then I have another extra filter in the kitchen. So the whole house is filtered. And then in my kitchen tap is double filtered. And that's what I use for cooking, and I use for hot water. But when I want a glass of water, I have bottled water and I drink. That's my weight. That's the healthiest because it contains minerals. So there's lots of different minerals, and Celtic sea salt is the highest form of trace minerals in the world. So it's Celtic, Celtic, sea salt. You can get Himalayan, you can get pink sea salt, but Celtic is the highest form of food that contains 98 trace minerals. Nothing in the world contains these type of rare trace minerals, and it's very powerful food. Celtic sea salt, very powerful. It's been around for tens of thousands of years. It's from Brittany, France. They have clay beds. These are living clay beds. All the clay is alive. And then it has channels. And they're right on the ocean. So all they do is open up the channel. It's all wooden paddles, so they don't use any plastic or cement. They allow the ocean water to come into the channels, and they close the channel. And the next day, the ocean water lying in the clay beds turn into crystal in 24 hours. This is the highest form of trace minerals on planet Earth. So that's another powerful food. Never use Morton salt. Like when I go to restaurants, I never use their salt. I always look at food. Of course, I buy everything in the farmer's market, so I don't buy anything preserved, nothing. But you want to look and make sure there's no garbage salt in the food that you're eating when you buy food. There's salt to preserve it, forget it. No good. So then we have the third food is water. Then you come down to the fourth food, which would be vegetarian, vegan, raw. So that's the fourth form. And that's our bodies, the human bodies are designed to be vegetarian. I'm not saying you have to be a vegetarian to be healthy. No, I'm just saying you need to, like, all your food has to be natural. So I buy nothing in the store that I eat, zeros. Everything comes from the local farmers. One of the main reasons I live in California is the weather. It's all year round. I have 7 farmers markets a week. Every day there's a different farmers market in different areas that I can drive to. So I keep very fresh food. I don't buy it for over a long time, day or two, that's it. And then the fourth food is raw, vegan, vegetarian. And the fifth food is carnivore. There's nothing wrong with meat if you want to eat meat or fish or fowl, but the body doesn't like it. And it's very hard to digest because our teeth are the same as a cow. Our teeth are, if you Google this, we're not carnivores. Like my German Shepherd's a carnivore. She eats raw meat and bones. Her digestive system is designed to do that. Our bodies are not. So for me, I'm very, very common sense. It's 1 and 1 is 2. If it's not 1 and 1, if it doesn't equal 2, I don't get involved with the people or the situation. It has to be common sense. What does that mean? It means I don't deprive my body of anything. So I ask my body, what do you want? Are you hungry? I do. I get up in the morning, I have my warm water, I have my lemon, cayenne pepper, I put in blackstrap molasses, I put in fresh lemon, of course. Sometimes I put in baking soda to get the alkaline perfect with the pH. And I sip that. I'm up around 6:30. I have that, and I keep adding warm water. And so it's like 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock, and I'm still sipping warm water. And if I feel hungry, I'll eat. But if I don't feel hungry, I don't eat. I don't. I've done this little by little, so now I'm just alternate fasting 7 days a week. What does that mean? It means like maybe I ask my body, are you hungry? No. No, it's like 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock. Then I never get really hungry. My body's 82 years old. So it never is like, I'm starving. Even when I do Qigong for hours, I don't get to the I'm starving level because we're pretty well fed here. Then around 3:30, 5:30, I'll start preparing dinner. And I usually will do pasta or rice or some grains. And I always do fresh vegetables. I do a lot of wok cooking. And I love to cook. But I'm getting to craving. So I've learned decades and decades ago, I was a vegetarian for 5 years, and I got very weak. I just felt really weak. I went to my acupuncturist and said, I'm tired, nothing's working. And my acupuncturist says, you need to eat chicken and fish. And I was like, yuck, no. The thought of it made me ill. I was like, no, I can't do that. So I walk out and weeks go by and I'm getting weaker and more tired. And I'm like, oh my God. So then I basically go to another acupuncturist because that's my mode of health is acupuncture, Chinese herbology. I'm very natural. So I go to another acupuncturist and then they do a whole conversation and they said, oh, you have to eat chicken and fish. I'm like, you must be nuts. So anyway, so I decided, let me try it. The thought of it was making me ill. So I went to the local farmers and there's chicken farmers and lamb farmers and there's meat farmers. They're all local farmers that raise their own livestock. And I remember I bought like a little filet mignon. It was like, I said to the farmer, what's the best thing you have? And he said, well, the filet mignon is the ultimate. And I went, okay. So it was not that big. It was maybe 2 ounces. Maybe no more than 2 ounces. So I came home and I cut it really thin, like almost paper thin. And I just took a bite raw. And like immediately my energy went, I'm like, wow, immediately. The body's like, yes, we want this. Then I took another little sliver, ate that, chew it, because I haven't had meat in 25 years. And my energy levels within seconds skyrocketed. And then I cut off little pieces and I put it in a frying pan with some butter. And I just flipped it over, not even a minute. I just put it in, flipped it over, ate that. So I ate like 1 ounce and I saved the other ounce because that was a lot after 25 years. And my energy levels went back to normal, which are very high. My energy levels from Qigong are extraordinary. Even now, my energy level is like 23 years old, even though the body's 82. So I've gotten to realize that when the body craves anything, it wants it. So that's my personal experience. And I'm mostly a vegetarian, mostly like 95%. But if my body starts craving fish, which I don't eat fish for 6, 7 months, then all of a sudden I'll start craving fish. But I don't go buy it. I wait 2, 3, 5, 7, 10 days. And the craving is more and more. And the body's like, it doesn't want it. It craves it. You know what a craving is? Yeah. So it's like, I crave fish because that has a whole different structure of nutrients. Then after maybe 7 or 10 days, I go out and get a nice piece of salmon or some fish, but it has to be very fresh. And I don't get a lot because the body's not used to it. And I eat that and the body's happy, the craving subsides, and my energy levels stay high. And it does that with meat. It'll do that with chicken, but only a couple times a year. Mhm. So that's my experience that I want to share on the 5th level of food. But I'm not suggesting anyone becomes whatever. Do what you want. But I'm suggesting very highly to start experimenting with yourself and your body and become sensitive and really have a relationship with the body, because I'm not my physical body. That's not who I am. I am not my emotions. No, they're emotions. They're my second body, physical body, emotional body. And I'm not my thoughts. I'm more than my thoughts. This is now very high Qigong, very high. We have 5 bodies: physical body, the physical body, separate, has its own brain. It has its own mind structure. It operates separate than the feelings. The feelings of this another different body. You know, I'm happy, I'm sad, I don't like. This is all emotional body. Then we have the intellectual body, which is thought. And thought was designed, there's only one purpose for thought. It was designed a million years ago. There's been tremendous evolution. Thought took a long time to get where we are today. And the only purpose for thought is to solve problems. There is no other reason to think. You only think to solve problems. But today, in the last 100 years, we use it for everything. And it's created stress. So if you're in a jungle or in a desert and you're tribal, they don't think. This is vacant. And then if there's an earthquake or a lion or an elephant shows up or some threatening happens, this takes over, thought takes over, solves the problem immediately. And then there's action. So I hope that's enlightening for you guys to start realizing the different bodies. And then we have the energy body. That's the 4th body. You can call it the sexual body, but it's a lot of energy, and that's the 4th body. These are different bodies. And I am more than all of these bodies. So that's really what all the masters talk about. Be here now, be present, be in the moment. So when you're present, it's not that you're the physical or the emotional or the mental or the energy. No, you are all of that plus the 5th body. And the 5th body is the mystery, the magic. We call it the divine. You can call it God, the source, the creator. This is always the mystery. And that's why it's the thumb, because you have 4 fingers. They're all similar. This is very different. And this is the source for us. So that's the 5th food, carnivore. And then you come into craving. That's what I really wanted to emphasize. So start asking your body, are you tired? Do you want to lay down? Do you feel like do you want to go for a walk? Do you want to exercise? Ask your body and ask your feelings. How do you feel? Are you okay? So just talk to your bodies and say, like, how are you doing? And then, are you stressed? Yeah, really. Then let's do something about it, right? If you're tired, you need to be active. Get up, get out, breathe, do the breathing exercises if you can't get out. But it's summer, go out, go hikes, go for walks, get active, whether you want to or not. We must keep our bodies healthy. So that comes down to hair. So the hair, basically, I'm a hair shaman, and that's very involved. I have a website called The Hair Shaman. You can Google it. I haven't been active on that site for years, but it exists. It's just The Hair Shaman. It has a lot of biblical stories, fairy tales, which are very mysterious on the 5th body about hair. So we come obviously we come from someplace to get to Earth. I'm not trying to like change anybody's lifestyle. But for me, I come from spirit. I come into a body, my mom. I get born, and then there's a physical body. So that's the first body. So my first breath activates the physical body, obviously. And so that's the material world. So once the body starts breathing, the first breath, everything starts working. The heart, the lungs, everything is because mom was doing all that. And now my body's going to do that. And then we can consciously breathe or not, we just unconsciously breathe. So when it comes down into this physical body, in between those two dimensions is ether, the ethereal energy. So there's fire, air, earth, water, ether. Ether is the thumb, ether is ethereal, and it's chi. The highest form is prana, chi, energy, whatever you want to call it. Those are words, but it's life. It's life force. Everything that lives has a life force, and it contains chi. Rocks don't have that because they just slowly dissolve. But anything that's alive has a life force, even one cell, chi. And so in between these two worlds, we have spiritual energy, physical energy, and ethereal energy. And so I'm coming down to the hair shaman. This is ether. Your hair is ethereal. This is ether. Your hair, like there's 5 types of hair on the body. 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 senses, 5 elements. 5 elements of lunar, cutting your hair. Everything is structured. When you really come to clarity, you'll see that it's 5. 5, 5, 5 is very enormous. So the hair, basically, we have hair on our head. That's the crown chakra. It's the highest form of energy, is the crown chakra. Then it comes down to the eyebrows, eyelashes, nose, ears. That's second hair. Then the beard, facial, third. And then the body hair, all over the body, whatever hair you have, 4. And then pubic hair, 5. And they all do different functions on our body, affecting our 5 bodies. So what I'm getting to is you really want healthy, strong hair, thick. So we're getting into lunar cycle cutting. So yesterday was a full moon, very, very powerful. The cycle was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we're still in the full moon cycle. So I cut the ends of my hair. I just pulled it down and I just snipped off maybe like a 1/16 of an inch. It's like very thick. And I cut off the side by like a 1/16 of an inch. And I combed the hair up and I cut off like a 1/16 of an inch because I wanted that energy from the full moon. That was, for me, the height of the full moon was yesterday, Saturday, and still going on for the rest of today, Sunday. And when you do a lunar cut, doing the lunar cycle, when you cut your hair, I encourage everyone to cut their own hair. We have the hair cutting. So we actually carry this for your convenience. It's a blunt snip hair cutting kit. Contains a comb, contains the scissors, very reasonable. And then when you take and you cut the end and you snip, that snipping sends a shock from the end of the hair follicle all the way to the root, right to the growth pattern. And that shock is stimulating new growth. And you can do one of 5 things. You can do lengthening, strengthening, thickening, root work, or beautifying. But what I'm coming to is when you cut your hair in the height of a lunar cycle, That's equivalent anywhere from 12 to 18 acupuncture treatments all at once. It's very, very, very powerful. It's been around for thousands of years. And so I'm coming down into being a hair shaman. So these are my experiences, living experiences of what this represents. So of course, MoroccoMethod.com represents our hair on our head. And you want to keep this healthy, thick, strong. And we have all these different products. We have videos. So watch our videos. Every product has a video. And then I have videos on spokes in a wheel, which this is what this whole class today was about. It's not only just one thing like hair care. It's about food, 5 types of food. It's like breathing. It's exercise, right? So we come into breathing, and I encourage everyone to consciously breathe. It's the most powerful thing is conscious breathing. There's nothing more powerful, more energized than conscious breathing. So it simply means that all night long while we're sleeping, the body's breathing. Me too. I'm not consciously breathing. I'm someplace else. The body's sleeping, and I'm like, wherever we go in our dream worlds, that's another class on dreaming. And the body's breathing very shallow, because that's as far as it can go. And so the oxygen is breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And throughout the day, when we're not consciously breathing, we're breathing, the body's breathing very shallow. And when you become sensitive, you're going to see that your body holds its breath a lot. So when you hear bad news, the body doesn't breathe. When you get stressed, the body doesn't breathe. You're literally not breathing. You're just like stressed. And there's no breathing at all. And so that's the most damaging thing you can do, because that's the time you really need oxygen for your brain and your blood, and your whole system needs oxygen. So I hope that's becoming common sense. So the foundation is 4 and 4. We breathe in for 4, breathe out for 4. And I highly recommend that you YouTube, Google James Nestor, Nestor, and his book is called Breathe. And there's hundreds of videos and podcasts. They're all free. You can get the book or not. I have it on Audible. I listen to it. But you can watch any podcast, any video, and then I say 1 to 3 minutes, anybody will be shocked. Shocked, because no one teaches breathing. So we breathe only from the nose, because the nose does 30 different functions, never the mouth. The mouth just eats and talks, doesn't do anything else. But the nose, if you take your fist, that's how big this structure is in our face. If you come right into our face, this nose is attached into our head this much, and it's all about 30 functions of breathing. So you have to really Google that. It's very scientific, very, very enlightening. But you simply, like first thing in the morning, as soon as I come back into my body, I just stay in bed and I just watch my body breathe, just as a reminder. So the body's breathing very shallow, and I don't change it. I don't alter it. It's just this is reminding me for the rest of the day that I need to consciously breathe, that I must consciously breathe, that I want to. And then I breathe in from the nose. I breathe down 1, 2, 3, 4. So now my attention is below the belly button, and that's called a tantien. And then I pause, and then I breathe out from here, and I breathe up and release the carbon dioxide. 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. So that's the foundation of conscious breathing. You breathe in from the nose only, never the mouth. So you're doing 30 functions, and you breathe calmly, slowly down, down, down. Pause. Then you breathe out for 4. And you can do that all day long. You will be superhuman. So start off little by little. There's hundreds of different breathing exercises. They're all very powerful. Okay, so speaking of food, you said that you eat only once a day. Do you jump right into this, or do you work your way up from intermediate fasting? Well, intermediate fasting simply means that I eat 1 meal a day. I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat lunch. I don't have snacks. But once in a while, like it could be 11 or 1 o'clock, I'll feel a little hungry and I'll eat an avocado or have an apple or a little salad. But I'm not, I'm satisfied. The body's satisfied. It doesn't want to sit down and have a whole breakfast. It doesn't want to. If I'm hungry, I'll eat 10 times a day. I will. But I'm very sensitive. And I ask my body, what do you want? Just warm water. Yeah, it'll tell you, like, it doesn't want food, 4th or 5th dimensional food. So that's what I'm basically saying, is that I only eat when the body's hungry. And so my routine has gotten to be where I get up in the morning. Everyone that I follow is for health, any health person that I admire, they all do this. They all have warm water first thing in the morning with lemon for hours. But I recommend everyone, the first 20 minutes when you wake up, drink nothing but warm water. No coffee, no juice, nothing, because that's dehydrating and the body needs to be hydrated. And only water is going to do that. The body's over 70% water, right? Right. So I sip warm water throughout the day, morning, afternoon, and I'm not hungry. I don't eat anything. But then I've gotten to, like, we're around 3:30, 4:30, 5:30. The body's starting to feel like it wants to eat. I never get really hungry because the body's 82 years old. It doesn't need, I'm not, 13 years old flying off of rooftops. The body doesn't need it. And then I have a whole ritual where I prepare dinner, I cook, or I make a big salad or whatever I'm going on to. And everything's 100% from the local farmers. Everything. And I don't have a TV. I don't get involved with technology at night. That's all stopped. And then after I eat, I'll take I have a German Shepherd, a military service dog, and I take her out I live in this compound in a forest environment. And we go out for a hour and a half walk. And we have huge forests here where I live. And Fiore runs like she's not on a leash because she's very disciplined, because she's a military service dog. And I was in the military in 1961 in Cuba, Bay of Pigs. So I served wartime in North Africa. So I qualify for a military service dog. And she's my best friend. And we go out for walks. She's very social. Then I come back. So that got the body pumping, digesting the food. I just relax. I do some things that I'm interested in, maybe a little bit of art, but I don't really do any work at night. So I want everything to settle down. This is my routine. And then about 7:30, I'm like, oh, it's time to go to bed. So I'm like, okay, so then I'm finishing this and finishing that and doing this. And before I know it, it's around 10:30. I don't know how it happens. But it's around 7:30, it's like around 3:30, 4:30, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have dinner. And then around 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'm going to go to bed. But this takes a couple hours. And then it's around by 10:30, I'm in bed. So, and I sleep from 10:30 to 5:30, 6:30 through conscious breathing. So again, look at, I have 4 books. They're on MoroccoMethod.com. They have tremendous amounts of information. They're free. So all you have to do is go to the home page, MoroccoMethod.com, go to resources, and then it'll be a drop down. And the first will be our story, and it's all about Morocco Method. And then it drops down to the first book, which is Awaken Our Roots. It's mostly about Morocco Method. Then the second book is The Great Escape. I escape my family and hometown and I go into the Navy. Then the third book is very powerful. It's The Big Apple, One Bite at a Time. So I'm 21. I move into Manhattan. I lived there 10 years. And then the fourth book is Life is Real, Only Then When I Am, All in Everything. So A Wish to Be Always Everywhere. That's my fourth book. And then it's 1973. So I've written 4 books from 4 years old to where I'm about 30, 1973. So one of these days when I feel it, I have to feel it, I'll start writing from 73. And then I went to Europe for 2.5 years. I basically created Morocco Method. I studied with botanists, all natural, lunar cycles in Europe. So I spent 2.5 years a year in Italy, 6 months in France, and a year in England. I didn't work for 2.5 years. I just basically traveled around and meeting extraordinary people. Then I came back. Then I got married, went to Boston, created another business. I had 4 businesses. I created 4 businesses from nothing, but I still have the first one, which is MoroccoMethod.com. And the other 3 I create and I sell and I live off of that. So that's how I got to go to Europe for 2.5 years and didn't work. So I sold one of the businesses and I took all that money and I used that. And then when it was all gone, it was 2.5 years and I came back, went to Boston, created another business and started all over again. But in the interim, I've always had MoroccoMethod.com and I'm still very active. We're rebranding. We have a new website. I hope you guys check us out. Go to MoroccoMethod.com. We have a whole brand new website. It's all about rituals, magic, hair shaman, and 2025. The whole deal is in this. And if it doesn't come up, you have to like refresh your computer because it's active as of yesterday. And then, of course, we're coming out of plastic, going into food grade, biodegradable packaging. And we have amazing work going on with our affiliates and social media. So you'll see that all over the place. So please like and subscribe to the channel. I really want to have this educational sent out so other people can find us. And at 82, I'm just basically, my whole purpose here is to share my experiences, is to care and share. That's why I'm still active with the company. I love my company. They run it. I don't. I have all my employees they do great work. I have 30-minute call every morning to my president of the company, Samantha. The most an hour, 30 to an hour. That's it. Then she orchestrates everything with everybody else, and they do all this stuff. That's why I'm not really into technology. I don't want to be. I don't get involved with social media because it's technology. And then we have all our natural affiliates, which they love our products. So we have the most natural hair care line in the world. Check us out, watch our videos, get educated. Our health is our wealth, especially your ethereal hair, right? All right. So you guys, I'll be here next Sunday, or maybe 1 or 2 more Sundays, and that's going to be it, because then I'm going to be packing and moving back to Carmel, California, right on the ocean. I'm very excited to return back to Carmel, to be right next to the ocean. I love to go, every morning I go to the beach barefooted, do Qigong in the morning, first thing. Then I have 2 classes a week, one on the beach and one in the parks. They're all free. So I still have a lot of students waiting for me to come back to Qigong. And I have a lot of friends with a lot of interests. I'm very stimulated. So it's time for me to have another change. Every once in a while, it's time for a complete change to get the life force pumping, excited. And there's always interests. We have to be interested in our daily lives and have a purpose. It doesn't have to be monumental, but we have to have a purpose to get out of bed, to be healthy, happy, strong, and to share whatever we can share. Be caring and sharing, but most of all, take care of yourselves. That's rule number 1. Always take care of yourself, and we're here to change. All right. God bless all of you. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, my move is very exciting. I just went into escrow yesterday with this new townhouse, and it'll be 21 days, and I'll get the keys, and I will pack up, and the movers will come off to the ocean, back to Pebble Beach, Carmel, California. Thank you all. Appreciate you. Let's care and share together, shoulder to shoulder. Let's be happy, healthy, and strong. And send me anytime, send me any questions or any thoughts. And I'll be here next Sunday, same time. MoroccoMethod.com for a luxurious lifestyle. All right, be well.